are my fire, the one desire. Believe when I say I want it that way. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to another first listen album review from yours truly. So this is kind of exciting. The Backstreet Boys, their latest album came out this weekend called DNA. Their first album in 6 years, and they're still in the game. They're still releasing music after all these years. And of course, I grew up in the 90s, so I grew up during the whole Backstreet Boys craze. I was never like a huge fan of them growing up. Of course, I like their hits and whatnot, but I'm delving into their latest album right now for you guys, DNA by the Backstreet Boys. So there's 12 tracks, and I've only heard a few of them. The only songs I've heard so far are Don't Go Breaking My Heart, and I believe there was another one I heard. I just don't know which one. Anyway, so I will be listening to each track individually, and yeah, so let's get into it with track number 1, Don't Go Breaking My Heart. This is the only one that I got. This is the only one I got. Don't go break it down, break it out, break it out. This is the only one I got. So that was Don't Go Breaking My Heart, and I gotta say, it's a pretty good song. It sounds very current and very now. Doesn't sound dated by any means, which is really good on Backstreet Boys' front, considering they released music in the 90s and the 2000s and the 2010s, so they have 3 decades worth of music. And this song, and I imagine this album will sound very current. It was a great lead single, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. A lot of fun to listen to. It's the Backstreet Boys, come on. So now let's move on to track number 2, Nobody Else. So that was Nobody Else, track number 2. I enjoyed that song. It was a pretty cool song. It wasn't spectacular, but it wasn't horrible. It was good, in my opinion. I enjoyed it. It was just a nice, decent song. A good track for number 2. And by the way, if you want to know what I'm listening to, if you want to listen to a few of my playlists, you can actually find me on Apple Music. You'll see my account, and you'll see all my different playlists. You can see what I'm listening to at the moment, and you can follow along if you are interested. I have a whole bunch of different playlists. I have like a classic rock one. I have pop 90s playlist. I have just a whole bunch of other playlists you can check out if you want to. Again, that's Elated Jesse on Apple Music. So now let's move on to track number 3. Breathe. Just keep breathing and breathing and breathing. Wrong artist. Oh my god, I loved that song. Definitely my favorite track on the record so far. We're only 3 tracks in. Breathe, I absolutely love that song. It's so, so good. Sounds like something you'd hear in the Pitch Perfect movies. It's just a really on point song. I love it. Something that isn't really something we hear on the radio, or it's kind of different in a way. It's just I don't know. I just really love that song. Breathe, really good. I love it. My favorite track so far. So now let's move on to track number 4. New Love. Wow, that song made me hard. Didn't say this video was PG. Anyway, that brought out the inner sexual beast within me. I don't know what it was. It was such a sexy song. Oh my god. So much so it made me want to unbutton my shirt. Oh my god. Okay, so that was. I really did like that song. Breathe what? Just kidding. No, this is probably one of my favorite tracks so far. Breathe and New Love. Is this even the Backstreet Boys? This does not sound like them. I don't know, maybe I need to get more familiar with their past work, but from what I've heard prior to this album, this doesn't really sound like a Backstreet Boys album, but I don't have anything wrong with that. It is really good so far. So let's just move on. Passionate, track number 5. Okay, so I'm having a lot of fun listening to this album. I was not expecting this. Oh my god, the songs are very sexy. There's just I don't know what it is. It doesn't sound like a typical Backstreet Boys album, but that is okay. It's actually I'm digging it. I'm having fun listening to this album, and if I'm having fun listening to an album, nothing else really matters. So that was Passionate, and yes, these songs are making love to my body. Anyway, let's move on to track number 6. Is it just me? Is it just me, or is it getting pretty hot in here? So that was Is It Just Me? A nice little ballad, and I really did like that song. Very good, I enjoyed it. Nothing really to complain about, just a solid ballad. And Backstreet Boys is known for their ballads, and this is, a great one. It's not as good as their most famous ballads, but it's, for this album, it's a good ballad. And now let's move on to track number 7, Chances. Guys, I'm loving every single track on this album so far. It's just a solid pop record, and you can't go wrong with that. Chances is a bit of a power ballad, and I love it. It's a good song. I have no complaints with any of these songs. They are all solid pop tracks. Really good song, Chances. I love it. So now let's move on to track number 8, No Place. No place, no place like you. No place, no place like you. Ain't no place, ain't no place like you. So that was No Place, which actually kind of sounded like a country song, and I'm not the biggest fan of country, but I'm actually digging this song. Again, it's another solid song on this album, really good. I have no complaints with this album at all. Another good song, No Place, really good. So now let's move on to track number 9, Chateau. So that was Chateau. Again, another solid song. If I had to pick my favorite tracks on this album, this probably would be one of them. It would probably be near the bottom of the songs I like, but it's still a good song. But it's not my favorite song on the album. I just feel like there's a lot more better ones on the album. So that was Chateau, and now let's move on to The Way It Was, track number 10. Wow, I'm impressed. I like that song. Pretty good. I like these ballads. Obviously, the first half of this album is more upbeat and lively, and then the second half is more slower and filled with the ballads. And I like the ballads just as much as I like the more upbeat songs in the first half. The Way It Was, another great song. I enjoyed it like all the other ones. So now let's move on to the second last track on the album, Just Like You Like It. So that was Just Like You Like It, and I will say that's probably my least favorite song on the album. I just find it kind of boring. It was alright. It's probably a song I would really listen to again. So anyway, let's move on to the last track on the album, number 12. Okay. So that was okay, a nice way to wrap up the album. And I will say there was a moment during the course of this song that it kind of sounded like a Chainsmoker song. You'll kind of know what I mean when you hear it. But anyway, this was a good pop record. I enjoyed it. Quite a few of the songs I really did enjoy. I don't know, okay. I'll say I like all the songs equally. I did like the more upbeat, sensual songs. They were a lot of fun to listen to, so that was kind of in the first half. And then the second half was more so the ballads, which I equally enjoyed. So I don't really have a favorite song on this album. If I had to choose, it would probably be maybe New Look and Breathe. Maybe those two are my favorites. I don't know, I have to listen to the album again. But from when I first listened to this album, those were my two tracks that I liked, and yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this album. It's a good, solid pop record if you like the Backstreet Boys. It's very different from what they used to sound like, but obviously they can't kind of go back to how they used to sound like because it's 2019 now, and they have to kind of change their style. And this album sounds very current and now. It sounds very 2019. So yeah, that is my first listen to album review on DNA by the Backstreet Boys. And again, you can find me, you can find what I listen to on Apple Music. Just type in Light and Jesse. You can find my playlist. You can see what I'm listening to at the moment. I also have my top 10 fave list, which means I have like a top 10 fave list of like Cher, Carrie Underwood, Eminem, Imagine Dragons, Lady Gaga. So I have those lists. I have like my classic rock, pop 90s and whatnot, and yeah, I'm always adding new songs. So thanks for watching, guys, and give me your opinion on the album. What were your favorite songs? Did you like this album? Did you not? Tell me why. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye.